1944, in the midst of World War II, on Lake Beresford in DeLand, Florida, the American Machinery Corporation built a small army tug, ST-479. That year, the world was breaking. It was 86 feet long, a steel hull, a Clark Brothers diesel engine, roughly 650 horsepower. No armor, no guns, only pull, only work. In the summer of 1944, ST-479 was in European waters. Its presence off the coast of England after D-Day is documented as T-type tugs, supported the Allied landings in Normandy, towing barges, moving elements of the Mulberry harbors, maintaining supply lines. They did not storm the beaches. They made the landings possible. The histories of the large ships survived in archives. The histories of small working vessels were partly lost. Much army documentation was destroyed. ST-479's detailed logs do not exist. There is only its type, the year, the place, and the fact that it was in the right waters at the right time. After the war, it was sold. For decades it worked in the Netherlands, then in Sweden under the name Tiger. The world changed, generations passed, the Cold War came and went. Countries shifted on the map. The people who launched it in 1944 have long since passed away. But the tug kept working. Nearly 80 years later, representatives of DeLand Historic Trust discovered it. A private fund was raised, not a government program, not a military order. People decided this story should come home. In July 2022, ST-479 arrived at Jacksport in Jacksonville, Florida. It was then towed along the St. Johns River, the same waterway connected to the place of its birth. Almost 8 decades later, a steel hull returned to Florida. Today, its metal is deeply rusted, the inevitable result of decades in salt water. Holes on the hull resemble possible gunfire damage. Their origin is not documented. Inside the cabin, a small heart hangs on a window. When or by whom it was placed is unknown. But there is what matters. It was built in 1944. It was in European waters during the Normandy campaign. It belongs to a class of vessels without which the operation could not function. It lived a long post-war life and it returned to where it was created. Consider the scale of time. When it was built, color television had not yet been invented. The internet did not exist. No one had set foot on the moon. Most of today's residents of DeLand were not yet born. Yet the hull, assembled by the hands of workers in 1944, still exists. There are no grand feats in this story. There is industrial labor, invisible logistics, decades of obscurity, and a choice across generations to bring it home. Metal remembers no name. Metal tells no stories. But sometimes the very act of returning becomes the story. And that is what makes ST-479 more than just an old tug. It is Tiger, the only one that was able to return home. But it still has not found its final dock, its last rest. Stories hide in unexpected places until we meet again on the uncharted paths.